In today's video, we're going to take a close look at how Fiverr can help you, what exactly it is, and what it can do for you, and what it can't do for you. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So today's video, how to use Fiverr for your self-published books. And let me tell you, there are an awful lot of ways to do just that. Okay, so the first question you're probably wondering is, what exactly is Fiverr? Now, some of you already know, so stick with me. But when you're getting started with anything online, one option you have is you Google it, and they're going to show you how to do stuff yourself, okay? And you'll see with self-publishing, you can do most of the steps yourself without any additional help, right? You can theoretically make your own covers, you can do your own editing, you can do your own formatting, you can do every single aspect of self-publishing. You can do your own running your ads, your marketing, all of it. However, there is a huge challenge with that, which is your time. And if you have money, then it's definitely worth investing in, first of all, tools necessary to do the self-publishing right from the start. But after that, then we take the money and we put it in paying other people to do what they're really good at. And that's where Fiverr comes in handy. Now, why do they call it Fiverr? Well, originally, and they still have it, many of the gigs, that's where they offer a particular service, were $5. Okay. So I think almost everything on there was like your first level gig would be like $5. And they might have one for 15 and then one for 20 or 100 or something like that. Okay. But when you're first getting started with Fiverr, you're going to start off and you would find and see what services they offer. And I know the very first ones I was using on there would be like cover design, and I was using editing services on Fiverr. I used ghostwriting on Fiverr. I discovered you can use Fiverr for all sorts of stuff in terms of learning how different tools work, going through stuff. People who already know how to do something, they're willing to share with you. We've even done it for like tutoring Spanish for my daughter, for example. And so, in fact, it was funny because she would even find the tutor for herself and then hire that person to teach her Spanish. Okay. And so Fiverr can be used for all sorts of really, really fascinating stuff. All right. And that's something that many people have not really explored, the idea of freelancers who are out there who have those skill sets. But when it comes to self-publishing, it is especially powerful. But there's a lot of things that you're going to want to use it for, but you need to make sure you don't use it incorrectly. So I want to give you a few guidelines to use when trying to find the right gig, the person who's offering that gig for your specific job. The first one is we want to find somebody. You can rank them by the number of jobs they've done, like the number of reviews that are going to be on their thing. So we have an idea of how many jobs they offer. And based upon that, you're going to see how many stars they have. Now you have, of course, like anywhere else, people have fake reviews and stuff on there. However, if they've got something like hundreds or thousands of reviews, it's really hard to fake that. Okay, so those people have actual reviews. Then we're looking for people who have that 4.5 to 5 stars average for the reviews that they have on Fiverr. Okay, those are the people that you're going to want to do work with. You're going to do business with them. If you don't have people who have thousands of reviews, well, then the people who have the most positive reviews. This is a surefire way to not find yourself hiring somebody on Fiverr who's going to do a poor job or maybe not even deliver the services that you're looking for. The second thing is we're going to look for price after that. We can shoot for the people who are charging an awful lot of money and the people who are charging very little. If they both have over 1,000 plus reviews that are all 4 or 5 star reviews, you're really going to find that what they're providing is going to be really close, which means you don't want to waste money on Fiverr. This tip alone is going to save you a lot of money. And so make sure when you're getting onto Fiverr that you're not being bled for money on there, but rather going for the gigs that are cheaper but have an awful lot of positive reviews. The next thing to remember on Fiverr is you can negotiate everything, okay? So if you have a basic gig, but if you're going to order multiples of those things, like multiple covers or multiple thumbnails or multiple this, multiple that, you can say, look, I'm ordering 10 of these things and I'd like a sharp discount, like 50% of the normal price. Sometimes you can go even more than that, like as much as 66% off. I want to pay 1/3. So if it normally costs $30, I want to pay 10. But in exchange for that, I'm going to order 10 of these gigs. Okay. And so that causes the person to say, wow, this is like really amazing. This is, they're willing to do it because it gives them a guaranteed cash insert where they're getting that cash pumped into their business really, really fast. And in exchange, they're willing to give you a sharp discount. So if you can order in mass, that's even better. Okay, so these are just a few of the base rules when we're going on to Fiverr. Now, The first one, service on the self-publishing side is professional book cover design. They have insanely good cover designers. Now, in the description below, you will find my cover designer, the one that I specifically use for doing all of my designs on Fiverr. Okay, and she charges around $30 per cover, and they are really, really good. Okay, you can negotiate, of course, the price if you're doing lots of covers, but if you're doing just one cover, $30. So there you go. And you're going to have it already done. And so instead of trying to come up with some clunky cover, like you know who you are, trying to design it like you think you know Photoshop, and I'm like, well, do you have a graphic artist background? And the person's like, well, not really, but I'm just sort of playing around, with these little pixel graphics and stuff. And just like, do not destroy your chances of your book just because your cover's lousy, okay? Don't do that. You can use Canva for free, of course, I know, but everybody does it, so your cover's going to look identical to those people. Instead, hire a professional who's going to give you a top-notch cover. Now, when you do this, make sure you give her copies of the top best-selling covers that are already on Amazon as an idea of what it wants to look like, what it should look like. Remember, we don't actually care what you like or don't like. What we care is what people are actually spending money on in your specific niche. So that's an important one. You can check out my affiliate link below and find my top cover designer right here in the comments. All right. The next is editing and proofreading. And this one plays a huge role on here. You have lots of people who are college professors, teachers, professional editors on Fiverr. Now, if you want the absolute best of the best, you should go on to Upwork. Okay. But if you're on a limited budget, Fiverr is fantastic. You could take a school literature English teacher who taught high school level English in America, and she will do editing on your book. I actually had 2 of them doing editing on some of my books in the early days before the revenue started coming in, and these are going to be fantastic. They're going to do a great job for you. Again, you follow the base rules that I already gave you above. Then we come to formatting and layout. You can get your book formatted on Fiverr. I did this originally, and I seriously regretted it. I would highly recommend not doing this service on Fiverr because after you're finished with your book, we're going to need to add a lead magnet at some point. You're going to find mistakes in your book. You're going to need to add your other newer books at the end of the book. You're going to make some major changes, maybe to links and other things inside the book as time goes on, and you're going to want to be able to do that formatting yourself. And that's one of the reasons why I have the book Formatting Made Easy course, which you'll find below in the description, that shows you how to use my favorite tool, which is Jutoh, and using that tool in order to go about getting your book formatted yourself. You make small changes, hit a button, and it reformats. This is definitely the way you want to go. Okay. Next is ghostwriting. I remember the first time I hired a ghostwriter on Fiverr to do one of my books, and that the works that were put out by this ghostwriter were beating the books I had personally written. This person had written a 24-page book, and it was destroying. It was getting way better sales than even books that I had spent months writing. Just to give you an idea of, yes, you can, in fact, if you're targeting a very profitable niche using the right keywords, you can, in fact, make a lot of money doing this route. That was what taught me that ghostwriting is not a terrible route. There's nothing unethical with it. It's just fine. Lots of authors do it. Not a problem. You can do ghostwriting and write your own books. There's really no problem. But Fiverr is one of the routes you can go. But make sure you're doing scanning for plagiarism. Plagiarism scanning is important because I did have one who ripped off other books. I reported them to Fiverr, and they were kicked off the platform. My money was refunded, and I didn't get myself in trouble with Amazon for stealing someone else's content. That is a very important thing you need to make sure you pay attention to. Then comes illustrations and artwork. You can find lots of illustrators and artists on Fiverr. Some of them will do the work for you relatively cheap, and some not so cheap. And so you want to make sure you look at the samples that they're doing. And this would be true for any of these services I mentioned above. Also, if they're terrible, just move to the next one, okay? You're not wasting $100,000 on each person. You're using, seriously, $5 to $30 probably per person. And if you're spending more than that, you're spending too much money, okay? So keep the price limited. We're going to put out a lot of books. That's the goal. We want to, some authors are like, no, I just put out one. Well, it's not going to sell. So you're probably going to need multiple books unless you really nail it on your first one, which you can do. That is definitely a possibility. But for most authors, you're generally not going to hit it out of the ballpark on your very first book. The next thing is marketing materials, okay? You can hire them to put together a marketing package for you where it'll have all sorts of little thumbnails, and it'll have covers, and not covers, but it'll have like your Facebook thing and all this sort of stuff. You can put that together, and that will definitely help increase the visibility of your book when you're putting it and hosting it on your website, or maybe you're on a Facebook page and these sorts of things. Then comes keyword research, and this is the most important. You should really learn how to do this yourself. But if you're a little bit lazy, and I know some of you guys are lazy. I get lazy from time to time, to be honest with you, okay? But the thing is, when it comes to keyword research, you're going to want to go through making sure that you're targeting good keywords when it comes to your book, because that's going to directly increase the number of sales. It's the single most important thing you can do with your book is to make sure you're in the right market, you're targeting the right keywords. Most important thing, because if they aren't finding you, that means you're responsible for making sure you're running ads to get those people to find you, but then you're going to use the ads on the keywords. Why not just have them find you for free? Okay, get those organic sales right away. So that's really a better way to go. Then audiobook narration. Now some of these people have no experience and they put themselves as experts. Make sure you check the reviews. I've had experiences with some of these people, and that's some of my clients have thought they'd go the cheap route, try to find them on Fiverr, and before you know it, you're paying a ton extra money. You're waiting. They're halfway done with the project and leave you hanging. Okay, do not get left hanging by somebody on Fiverr. Choose somebody who has a lot of reviews already, and they'll really hook you up. Then you have your book reviews and beta readers. Book reviews, you have to be very careful with this. It is illegal to sell book reviews. That is not legal. So you can, there are ways of getting around this particular one, but at least in terms of finding beta readers, that's a good way to go. So you can find people on Fiverr who are willing to read your book for you and give you your thoughts. But if they're selling you reviews, that will get you in big trouble, because they're going to be doing reviews on other people's books, and then it's just going to be this chaotic soup. And usually the reviews are not very high quality anyways, and it's illegal. They got sued earlier by Amazon for selling reviews on Fiverr, so be very careful with reviews. Better to have beta readers or people who are on your email list, like I tell you before, in order to get them to go about doing this. Then we can move on to author branding, and this deals with this idea of establishing a strong author brand, building logos, author bios, consistently messaging across all the platforms. And there are people on Fiverr who are fully capable of really helping you do exactly that. So as you can see, Fiverr is incredibly useful on a whole series of things for finding any services you can imagine related to your book. You can definitely do. Some of them I don't recommend doing, like book formatting. That should definitely not be. Keyword research, you can have them help, but you should actually at the end really figure out how to do the keyword research, like I teach my group coaching clients and my one-on-one clients, okay? So that's a big one there. And the one I would most recommend, it would be the getting your covers done on Fiverr. You can check out below for my affiliate link in the description, and check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.